Alright, bitches, so we're on to episode 54 of Dragon Ball Super, and this episode is called He Who Carries the Saiyan Blood, Trunks' Determination. This is another strong episode. This show, man, okay, this is... Whoo, 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 whoo. I'm sorry, I'm getting hyped every single time I do one of these now. Let's go, Dragon Ball Super. Picking the fucking pace up. Alright, so this episode opens up with Trunks, walking onto like this little pond that's outside Capsule Corporation. And Trunks is doing like image training against Goku Black in his head. And, Goku Black, even in the image training is giving Trunks the business. Then we see a scene of Bulma. She had worked all night to work on the time capsule and, the time machine. It's going good. And Pilaf comes in and starts working on some program that Bulma, I guess, had written for the time machine. And Pilaf is, doing all this typing and doing all these changes. And she runs over and she's like, "You bitch, what the fuck are you doing?" And then she looks at it and she's like, "Oh, this is great. This is perfect." She's like, who are you? How do you know this? And Pilaf is like, nothing. And it's like, they're putting so much about this Pilaf stuff. Is Pilaf gonna turn out to be a greater villain in Dragon Ball Super here than, like, fucking Goku Black? Wouldn't that be some shit? Then it goes back out to Trunks doing his image training, and Mai and Shu are watching him, and Shu explains what Trunks is doing to Mai, and then Mai does image training of herself, like, kissing Trunks. It's funny. But then Beerus, Whis, and Goku arrive back in the, back on Earth here. And then we have a really interesting scene here where they sort of talk about what they learned with Trunks. That, Zamasu has very similar energy to Black. But they do mention, Trunks says, like, what if Zamasu was able to disguise himself or use heavenly power to appear like Black? And Whis basically says, like, they were too different for us to conclude that. And he also says that Black had an immense evil energy about him. His ki was very evil, and Zamasu didn't have that level of evil. And he also says that Zamasu did not know who Goku was, but Black was talking as though he did know who Goku is. So that's another thing that's different. And Whis basically says, even though their energy is very, very similar, at this moment we can't really, say for sure that they're the same thing. And then Beerus cuts in and says, at this moment, but we can't rule out the possibility of him being bad down the line. Then it's revealed, Goku kind of says, like, "I don't think he'll be that bad. I'm the one who fought him, I should know best." And, like, Trunks and, both Trunks, Blue Trunks and Purple Trunks are both surprised that Goku fought him. And, like, Purple Trunks is like, "Goku, you won, right?" And Goku's like, "Haha, well, yeah." And Beerus cuts in and he's like, Zamasu, even if he's a god, he was only an apprentice to a Kaioshin. So, he wouldn't stand a chance against, Goku, who has fought me, the god of destruction, before. Trunks, having seen this, like, seeing that Goku fought the god of destruction, he starts to, in his head, think, like, oh, shit, I guess maybe I don't need to fight at all. Goku and, Father will be able to handle this themselves. And you see Trunks sitting there, you see Vegeta sitting there, and Vegeta's kind of watching him, and it looks like Vegeta is able to sense what Trunks is thinking. And then as the scene ends, Vegeta asks Trunks to come with him for some training. After this, the scene cuts over to Zamasu and Goas, and you see Goas is looking in a crystal ball. He appears to be watching the maturation of some fledgling planet. Now, it's important to note that it seems like the gods here, they refer to all pretty much living creatures with some modicum of intelligence as humans, as far as I'm noticing here. So, it seems like what Zamasu basically wants to take out all living things except for the gods is kind of what it's seeming like. I'm not sure. We'll have to see very, closer. Now, Zamasu prepares tea and gives it to Goas, and Goas tastes it and goes, this tastes bitter. And Zamasu is like, yes, well, it must be the leaves. And it's like, oh, fuck, son. Listen, Goas stated that shit last time. Tea made by pure heart tastes so good. Now this tea is tasting bitter. Oh, Zamasu, you naughty boy. You're becoming evil right before our eyes. Oh, shit. Now then Zamasu asks Goas, like, what he's doing, looking in the crystal ball and stuff, and Goas says, it's a new race that's become quite brutal, and Zamasu basically is out front, like, well, perhaps we should clean them up then, and Goas is like, nani? What are you talking about? And Zamasu straight up is like, hey, well, let's go down there and, just fucking wipe them out, whatever. And, like, Goas is, like really shocked, and, like, he says, you can't do that. That's the god of destruction's job. And Goas recommends that they watch over them for another 1,000 years. But Zamasu says, no, that brutal culture won't change. And Goas is like, you don't know that for sure. And Zamasu says, yeah, I do. After watching so many planets, I know how all human races turn out. And so Goas is like, well, if you're that adamant about it, let's go have a look. And Zamasu is kind of confused. And so they go pull out the Ring of Time. And then they travel to the planet, and Goas really starts explaining, like, how the Rings of Times work, that, like, they can use them to travel 1,000 years into the future. Now, Goas says they're able to use the rings to go 1,000 years into the future, and Zamasu asks, how about going to the past? Now, I've seen some translations differ here, but it seems like what Goas says is with these rings, you can't go to the past, but even if you were able to, like, you'd seriously fuck things up. I don't know, maybe you are able to go to the past. It's with the translations, it's not super clear. I'm sure we'll get clarification later on, but Goas starts talking about what would happen if you did go back in the past and change history, and he explains that the green rings that were in that box, those are born from history being changed and, like, creating the different worlds. Now, when he says different worlds, obviously he's referring to the different timelines, like what happened when Cell and future Trunks, went back and changed things in the past. And Goas even mentions another ring just appeared a few years back. He says it seems someone created another world. What kind of fool would have done that? Now, this isn't 100% clear. Obviously, he's either referring to Cell traveling back in the past to Earth. He's referring to future Trunks traveling back to Earth, which I think is the most likely. Or this could be related to Goku Black. Again, this is another thing. It's not entirely clear yet. I'm sure we'll get clarification later on if he's referring to Goku Black. But right now, I think what he's talking about is what future Trunks did. And then, here we go. This is like fucking... Goas says... in order to travel through time, you have to be a full-blown Kaioshin, but you're not a Kaioshin. And he points to the earrings. The green earrings mean that you're a full-blown Kaioshin, and I guess the orange earrings that Zamasu has means you're an apprentice. So then, Goas goes, alright, I'll temporarily promote you to the level of Kaioshin, Supreme Kai, so that you can have a look 1,000 years in the future. So what they do is Goas takes his earring off, and they're careful to have Zamasu put it on the same ear as Goas. Like, they both have an earring on their left ear. That way they won't fuse together. Because, remember, if you have one earring on your left and the other person has the earring on their right, then you'll fuse. And they even mention that. And Zamasu is like, yeah, I don't really want to fuse. I'm good on that. But this is some shit right here. So, like, now we see Goku Black has one green earring on his left ear, and here we go. Now Zamasu is standing there, one green earring on his left fucking ear. So they use the time ring, they head 1,000 years into the future, and what do they see but this race continuing to be barbaric and killing each other and attacking each other, and the camera zooms in on Zamasu, and he says the universe will never have peace. Oh, shit! Okay. Then it cuts to Vegeta and Trunks. And Trunks has some reminiscing about the training him and Vegeta did in the hyperbolic time chamber. And we actually see the moment where Vegeta first transforms into, Super Vegeta, that next level up from Super Saiyan. And it's hilarious, because Trunks, Mazaka! But it is important to note that this scene is in black and white. That's why I find it interesting. All the flashes of the past used with future Trunks have been in black and white, except for the history of Trunks scenes. Those ones were in color, which is kind of strange. And by I mean the History of Trunks movie special. So then Trunks goes Super Saiyan 2, and looks like they're gonna have a little sparring. And, Trunks is like, you have no need to hold back. Come at me with the same style that Goku used, the Super Saiyan 3. And Vegeta just bursts out laughing and goes Super Saiyan Blue. And that important line of dialogue is used, too. Trunks says that he's not able to sense Vegeta's energy because he's not able to sense God energy yet. But I do love that through like training and stuff, you are able to get to the point where you can sense the godly energy. And Trunks remembers what Beerus said about, Goku having fought Beerus. And Trunks deduces that both Vegeta and Goku are capable of going to Super Saiyan Blue. And so they're going to, Trunks, future Trunks, and Vegeta are going to have a little sparring match here. And Vegeta says, he'll give him a handicap. If you can hit me even once, you win. Similar to when Vegeta was fighting Kid Trunks in Dragon Ball Z. And I love this moment so much. Future Trunks he goes, you shouldn't underestimate me. And then he transforms into the form, like, I've seen it referred to as, like, Super Trunks 2, or, like the Super Saiyan version 2, the one that's, like, so diesel that you get slow. He goes into that form. And Vegeta gets angry, like, how fucking dare you go into that sluggish form? You disappoint me. And he charges at Trunks. And then Trunks goes, got it. And then Trunks reverts the transformation and then goes to attack Vegeta. And Vegeta's like, oh shit, he showed me that useless transformation to get me to drop my guard. And then, Vegeta is just 100 times stronger than Trunks. So Vegeta is kind of just like working around Trunks, dodging and stuff, and slams Trunks to the ground and, says like, if I was to give that a grade, I'd give it like a 3 out of 10 or something low like that. Now, Goku and Bulma, they instant transmission in to take a look at the training, and Vegeta just crushes Trunks, and Trunks, like, loses his Super Saiyan form. And then Trunks starts thinking to himself, like, holy shit, if, Father and Goku are both there in Super Saiyan Blue, Goku Black is not going to have a fucking chance. And he even has a vision of the two of them standing there looking sexy as fuck in that Super Saiyan Blue form. And Goku Black, like, right there about to face them. Yo, we have got to be only, like, 3 or 4 episodes away from that fight. Oh, shit! That shit is going to be too hype. But Vegeta can tell exactly what Trunks is thinking, and he's not fucking happy. He picks Trunks up, and it says, like, what are you smiling for? Is beating Black your only goal? What about all the enemies you've yet to face? The universe's strongest. And he's just, like, really digging in the Trunks. Like, if you carry the blood of the Saiyans, then I, as your father, will not allow you to lose anymore. And then Vegeta reverts to normal, and, like, he gets distracted by Bulma, and then Trunks takes that opportunity to headbutt Vegeta, and then Trunks smiles, and he's like, I landed a hit on you, I won. And Vegeta kind of does a, that little thing that he always does, and walks away. And Trunks tells him, like, I will surpass both Black and you. And Vegeta liked hearing that shit as he walked away. And as Vegeta's walking away, like, Bulma calls out to him, like, stupid Vegeta, but Trunks kind of bows. And, it's like, all right, yeah, good shit, Vegeta. And Trunks thanks Vegeta in his head, and it's like, yeah, Vegeta actually did teach Trunks a good lesson there. So I like that a lot of this arc is about, Trunks' growth. Like, learning different things from both Gohan and Vegeta, completely opposite end of the spectrum that'll help him out in the future. And then it cuts, the very last scene of the episode, it goes to Beerus' planet, where, Whis' staff, starts, blinking like it's getting a call, and Beerus answers it, and he's like, we're busy, call us back later, and it's, Zeno-sama, the king of everything, the Omni King, and he's calling Beerus and Whis, and he's asking them, saying he wants to meet Goku. And the two of them are like, what the fuck? Beerus and Whis, that shit is hilarious. And then in the next episode, we see lots of fucking around with the Kais. We'll see Old Kai, Supreme Kai, Kibito Kai, and Goku's gonna meet the Omni King. So I guess we'll see what's going on with this then.